All right. Yeah, so we keeping our we keeping our ear to the ground. We keeping up with everything that's going on, because obviously we getting some new movement on the rumors. Rumors are moving again on Amari Cooper, Tank, all that kind of stuff. Front office talking. They always talking. That's one thing you always get in the off season, is a off season that loves to talk. This is their Super Bowl. See, we think the Super Bowl is during the season. Nah, this when they really make all their money, in the off season, by stirring up drama on their own people. This game never ends. They never do business quiet. They never just kind of sit back and keep football. It's not their method of operation. Their method of operation is the Kardashian model. I've been calling it the Kardashian model for years now. See, because the Kardashians, they are not rich from a talent. They are rich because they have put all their business in the street. That's the key to them staying wealthy, being crazy enough to keep the cameras on their personal business 24/7. And at some point, when you're using this Kardashian model, it gets addictive. And you can't stop because it's just generating so much money. So that's where we are again. Another offseason where the stars of the Dallas Cowboys are being put out there on Front Street. This is never gonna stop as long Jerry and Steven, because a lot of y'all thinking this is gonna stop when Jerry eventually passes. It's not gonna stop, because his son, he has developed the same tactics, and he uses the same tactics. So it would be honestly very, very naive to think, when the son is now leading the campaigns, the distraction campaigns is what I call it. When the son is leading, it's not gonna stop. It's not gonna stop. So, and that's just what it is, and we gonna just have to, do one or two things. We gonna either abandon this toxic relationship, or we gonna stay down with it. And most of us gonna stay down with it, because most of us was down with the Cowboys before the Joneses, so we ain't going nowhere. But it's gonna get to a point to where people gonna really want to take some action. I promise you that. It's gonna be some people that's gonna want to take some action. So let's just keep a lookout, and then obviously I'm gonna get into this content to really break all this stuff down. So y'all give me a second, get everything set up. All right, so welcome to Boss Cowboy Sports. We're bringing you another one because, the Cowboys are doing what they do. Now, some people might not be paying attention. We getting around that time of the year to where people kind of start tuning out. This is actually where you want to kind of tune in, because the off season is really what makes the season. How these guys work out, how they prepare, the off season moves that they make, who they cut, who they keep, the games they play, picking up on the patterns that they do. All of that is what this off season about. The off season is actually the busiest time. Yeah, it really is. It's the busiest time. So my boy Chill Will of New Jersey said, "What's good, boss? What's going on? How you doing?" My boy D.A. Lee, I see you. Toot Robinson, he say, "Salute, boss." My boy D.A. Lee, he say, "We in the building." Yeah, we gonna go over this. Craig said his comment was terrible. Yeah, we gonna talk about his comment. We gonna talk about it. And then Shane, he said, "I think we're all tired of the Joneses. I wish they would shut up and do business the right way and let the coaches coaches. Coaches coach." I know. And it's every off season, isn't it, Shane? like every off season, where most teams, as you can see, are quiet, going about their business. We got to put our stars always in the light in the most negative way possible. That's our way of doing business. This is why they can never try to tell me that winning is first. Now, you might be delusional to think that winning is first. No, winning is not first. No. They show you when they do stuff like what they're doing that winning is not first. Money is first. Appearing right, my boy say Yoga Flame. You know I'm gonna give it to you, big dog. You already know.
Yoga Fire. Yoga Flame.
Yeah. So, yeah, winning is not first. Just keeping it real. It's not. Now, we would love to believe that it is. We would love to put on our Cowboys pom-poms and be like, no, it's not Jerry and Steven. No. No, money is first. Then second is their egos, where they trying to appear right in the public. That's second. Then third is winning. They don't put winning first. They stopped doing that after they got their third Super Bowl ring together. Then they changed the whole standard. So we go get into it. We go talk about it because obviously stuff is coming out, you know, with Stephen Jones. He talking. He always talking. This is coming. This is off-season tactics. This is what they do. This is no surprise that he is setting the foundation for whatever he wants to do and creatively keeping Dallas in the headlines. That's what they good at. That's just what they do. This is how they make their money. It's the Kardashian model. It's just what it is. The Kardashian model. The Kardashians can't sing, just like we can't win. The Kardashians can't act, just like we can't win a playoff game. But yet they make all this money because it's not about can you act or can you sing. It's can you stay in the spotlight? Can you get all these advertisers and all these media companies to keep you covered? That's what we're dealing with. So we go through some of the stuff that was said, and then we go obviously measure it in the Kool-Aid that's coming out. You know, we go measure it. I think that's always appropriate to do. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. So as we look at it, we will kind of cover this one by one. All right. So Stephen Jones on Amari Cooper. He said it's sometimes not all on the receiver. It's scheme. It's getting the receiver the ball. It's the targets. But if you're going to pay somebody a lot of see, hold on real quick. See, that's where he should have stopped talking. If it was honest. If it was really about telling the truth, he would have stopped talking right there. See, what's happening is that's him being creative on responding to what came out with the Hall of Famers. See, because the Hall of Famers came out. Kurt Warner came out with film showing that it was Kellen Moore. The playmaker came out and spoke specifically and said that he put the failures on the offense on Kellen Moore. He said, I even blame Kellen Moore for what happened to Dak. And he said specifically that these NFL teams, and it's not just Dallas, are trying to go to these boy geniuses, is what he said, to try to figure out a way to put scheme over playmakers and matchups. And then Aikman came out and said the same thing. So when he trying to play us, he go start with the truth and then quickly go into the BS. That's how I interpret it. Stephen Jones on Amari Cooper. It is sometimes, see the fact that you even started it with sometimes. See, that's leaving her out. See, you got to watch how they speak sometimes. See, he really should have been like, it wasn't on Amari. Because the big boys have spoke. And see, these are not, like, when you talking about Kurt, Aikman, and the playmaker, they not just yellow jacket guys. That's what I want to kind of emphasize. They are not just yellow jacket guys. These guys are nationally televised analysts with some of the biggest NFL media jobs. So the Hall of Fame is just a bonus to their voice. But their voice is way bigger than former great players. They are now known as very, very smart analysts of the game. And so even though they was definitive at pointing at Kellen Moore, definitive, he come out and he's speaking sometimes. It's sometimes not all on the receiver. It's scheme. It's getting the receiver the ball. It's the targets. See, and then when you see but, this is what I was taught. But negates everything that was previously said. See, when you say but, you wiping away everything you just said. I love you, but. I want to marry you, but. I'm going to give you the job. Oh, I was going to give you the job, but. You see how that but negates the previous statement? Because what's coming behind that but is what you really mean. But if you're going to pay somebody a lot of money, you want them to be the best at what they do. With that comes high expectations. See, that's that false stuff that he doing again. He putting out false expectations of what you're supposed to really feel when you pay somebody. You're not paying somebody top receiver money to be the best. No, you're not. It's a bunch of receivers that was paid top that wasn't the best receiver. They was just the next receiver and a quality number one. You pay the number one rate. And Cooper came in under the normal rate. He gave the Cowboys a deal. Because remember, the Redskins was prepared to pay him more. He took less. And once again, that loyalty means nothing in this organization. It means nothing. Nothing. We go still put you out there in the media. We go still put your name on Front Street. We go start watering down what you bring to us for our own agenda. We still gonna make all this money off publicity that we getting off your name. It's the Cowboys way. That's what it is. So when you look at these statements and you break these down and you decipher these tea leaves, you know, it's nothing but you can get nothing but we playing those same old games again. And as I'm listening to these guys, to me, if you look at my thumbnail, we got crosshairs on some of your best players. You got crosshairs. Steven, in my opinion, is looking to shoot these guys. Looking to shoot them. That's what I think is going on. Because in Steven's mind, Steven believes that the way to a ring is through budgets. He hasn't figured out yet that caps and cap savings don't win you Super Bowls. It hardly even win you playoff games. But every offseason he goes into with a whole brand new optimism that I'm getting ready to be budget Super Bowl champion. See, this is Steven's time of the year. See, our time of the year is during the season. His time of the year is when he gets to negotiate. This is when he get to feel important. This is when he get to be somebody. This is where he gets to be relevant. His dad been relevant. He trying to make himself relevant. So, in my opinion, he overdoes it a lot. A lot. And he gets too strong-armed and strong-arming his best players over pennies. I'm gonna explain that in a minute. But let me look at another one of his statements, and then we go break all this stuff down. All right. So this is also coming from Stephen Jones this week within the last couple of days. He said the salary cap is a real thing. Certainly, when you get to paying these quarterbacks, it's a quarterback-driven league. Dak deserves every penny he gets. But once you get into the league with those 40 million quarterbacks, then things have to give and take. I'm going to stop right there. And I'm going to measure that statement. It's a big thing for Boss Cowboy to actually say publicly that he drunk Kool-Aid. Listen, I do not drink Kool-Aid without first measuring. So, as we measure that statement, that's blaming your quarterback. Let's be clear on that. You blaming Dak. But y'all know Boss will go in that time machine. And if we look at the time machine is showing something totally different, sir. The time machine is totally different. The time machine is showing that your biggest regret was not signing Dak sooner. Because this current cap situation is your fault. It's your fault. See, when he talking to the masses, he subtly blames Dak. Oh, it's because we paid Dak. Now we gotta cut other people and do this and do that. Now we gotta put good players in the crosshairs. That's how the game go. See, that's talking to people like they stupid. Like you didn't speak earlier. We heard you speak. And your biggest regret was not signing Dak sooner. The issue is most people don't know how much he cost the Cowboys by playing that game. Because a lot of people like to say Dak should have been signed for $30 million. Dak could have been signed for $28 million when he first was due to be enumerated or paid. It could have easily been $28 million. But what Steven and Jerry kept doing, they kept giving him and his agent offers that was under the current market at that time. Because when the market was $28 million, they was throwing offers to Dak and his agent for $25. And that's insulting. Don't try to think. See, because a lot of people say, I would take $25 million. Dak is a greedy mofo. Dak is not you. You work at Walmart, okay? Or you a banker, okay? You don't know how to throw a ball. You're not an entertainer. You're not in the same market. So stop thinking so silly. For people that think like that, they get on my nerves. I would take $25 million. Of course you would. You're nobody. Like me. Of course you would. We talking about people who see themselves and should be treated the same. So what the Joneses was actually doing, they was asking Dak to do what no other quarterback in history ever did and take a deal under the market value. And then they would muddy up the waters and they would make it seem like Dak is being greedy because they would say stuff. So when you go to people that make only $40,000 and you say Dak turned down $30 million, they go pull out their pitchforks because they feel like he should take a deal like that. But see, it don't work like that. Dak is like all of us. We all compare ourselves and our jobs to our peers. So if my peer is being treated a certain way financially, and I'm working just as good or just as good, I'm going to expect the same. Don't matter if I'm sweeping floors, if I'm a banker, or I'm the quarterback. Jerry and Steven for years was trying to get Dak to come on the market. And they played ridiculous games. Ridiculous. I mean, crazy. Like, are you insane games? Like, tagging him. They tagged Dak. See, people don't understand how they screwed themselves with that. The tag at that time was $31.7 million.
Yoga fire! Yoga flame!
And we had a lot of stupid fans. Tag his butt. Tag him. He don't deserve to be paid elite money. You hear that all the time from the dummies. He never deserved that. He don't deserve that. But when you tag any athlete, it comes out of that current budget, dollar for dollar. Versus if you give a player a contract, you can finance that contract and you can have it hit at different moments of the contract. So you can do what's called backloading, where most of the costs go come at the tail end of the contract, which can allow you to kind of have some savings on the front end of a big contract. They didn't do that. They tagged him. And then when they tagged him, that's when he got hurt. So the Joneses had to basically pay Dak $31.7 million for 4.5 games. They screwed themselves. So now they talking about the cap is a real thing. When you pay one of these old quarterbacks, no. When you make ego decisions like y'all did, let's say the truth. Now you saying the way to fix this is we got to shoot our best. And then they double talk. And it's sad. If you truly calculate the cost of them waiting, it's about $60 to $70 million that they threw down the drain playing games with their quarterback. The tag and the opportunity cost. So I'm a finance major. I graduated with a degree in finance. It's a term called opportunity cost. That's where you calculate the cost of a decision. So you had an opportunity to sign Dak for $28 million. It would have been out the way. And right now, he wouldn't have even been close to top paid right now. But instead, you had to give him a $40 million on average because you kept playing these games. So let's do a little bit of math. Let's keep this simple. What's the difference between 28 million and 40 million on an annual basis? That's $12 million. Let's do a 6-year contract. What's $12 million times 6 on a 6-year contract? If you'd have had the opportunity to get him for 28. That's around 80 million. And that's not including the cost of that tag that they put on him, 31. Yeah, so somebody said 72 million. Yeah, so 72 million plus the $31.7 million, which was the cost of that tag that came directly out that year's cap, that they got 4 games out of that for playing hardball with him. But then now they coming out saying, well, when you pay one of these quarterbacks now, that shouldn't be what you're saying. It should be saying, well, when you wait this long like we did. See, if he was honest, that's what he would have been saying. But this is about blaming.
Yoga fire.
See, this is about blaming. Biggest regret. See, now notice he said that was his biggest regret. The biggest, yeah. Because most people don't know how to calculate what the real cost was. Yeah. So now he getting ready to make Dak likely pay twice by taking away some of his best weapons that you messed up. And this is the other thing. He ain't got to get rid of Amari. He ain't got to get rid of Tank. He ain't got to do that. So I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give y'all the honest to God truth before we finish. I'm not finished, but I'm going to just give you the honest to God truth. I was debating this little mama one day about money, okay? She was a family member. It was a long time ago. She owed me some money. And I was like, hey, you said you was going to pay me on Tuesday. She was like, Marcus, I don't have it. I said, you said a week ago that you had an emergency fund. So emergency fund is what a lot of people do when they trying to have money set aside for emergencies. She was fast talking me. She was trying. It wasn't gonna work, but she was trying. She was basically saying, I don't have money in my direct account, but she had money that she could get access to if she needed. Call that an emergency fund. And when I called her out, she started smiling. She said, oh, I do have the money. Yeah. So that's the same thing the Joneses are doing. So when they tell people the salary cap is a real thing, they're trying to play us. They trying to make it seem as if there's no ways to free up cash for the talent that you want to keep. They want to act like there's no emergency funds. There's no way to extend and make room through extensions. No, you just don't want to. You're a penny pincher. That's what you do. See, let's not forget, Stephen Jones did not want Dion over a budget issue. To the point when Jerry signed him, he jacked Jerry up against the wall. So I always tell that story because that shows you how bogged down he gets when it comes to budgets. How one-sided and just he gets so tight butt over budgets. He get to where he get narrow-sighted. He gets so focused on trying to have a dollar. And usually his fights that he have with his best players is over a few million. So everybody in the world recognized the value of Dion. Everybody knew. We was taking him away from San Fran, at the time our biggest rival. We was going to now add him as an asset where we now picked up a punt returner, a kickoff returner, the best corner to ever play, and an emergency receiver if need be. My boy Chris say, boss, kill me with those voices. I be meaning it, dog. I be meaning it. But Steven didn't see it. He was so focused on, Dad, I want this budget this way, Dad! Dad! Talking about them type voices. I mean it though. Dad! I wanted this budget budget for Dion, Dad? You jacking your daddy up, man. And we just signed Prime. You had to be the only person on the planet that didn't celebrate the signing of Prime. So just imagine, just think about what was y'all all doing. I remember exactly where I was when I heard the news of Prime. I was in the bathroom. And I think I broke everything in the bathroom. I was so excited. It was one person on the whole planet mad, Steven. Every real Cowboy fan was, yeah. Yeah, that's who we dealing with. All right, so now when we look at him talking, he mean it. He gonna likely take out one of them balls. I've been talking to a lot of people and they don't believe it. I talked to my boy West Coast. He like, nah, boss, it ain't gonna happen, bro. I say, see, bro.
Fire. Yoga flame.
I say, bro, see, you thinking in common sense. You can't think like that with your team, bro. You can't. You can't think that we do smart stuff. See, when it come down to budgets, we get real crazy. We'll get rid of Dez and think Hearns is gonna be a replacement. We'll get rid of Jalen and it costs us just as much to get rid of him than to keep him. True story. With a linebacker need. Yeah. All right, man. Let me keep reading though. Let me keep reading what Mr. Stevens said. So after he blamed Dak, he said, one of the things which is the good news for our organization, we've been a big believer in homegrown talent. See, Amari Cooper is not homegrown. I want y'all to keep that in mind. He's not in the flock. He's not in the homegrown family. And bringing it through the draft. Now, if we find the right pieces, value pickups, as I like to call them, so you don't have to reach in the draft and you can pick a guy that you don't necessarily have a need for, like a CeeDee Lamb or a Micah Parsons, and not to have to reach for a corner, if you will, or if you were after a defensive lineman, then that allows you to go out and pick the best player in your board, which a lot of people preach, but a lot of people don't do. We want to build our team through the draft. We do think we have a really young team, but we're going to have to make some decisions. Tough ones probably. We're not going to be able to keep everybody we'd like to keep in free agency. So the people that keep coming up though, is Amari and Tank, because they got the biggest contracts that can free up more cash. But cutting them, trading them, or whatever you want to do is not the only way to free up cash. They want you to think that, but that's not it. All right. And so if we look at him talking even more, he says Stephen Jones on the salary cap. We're going to have to make some tough decisions. We're not going to be able to keep everybody we'd like to keep. That's part of it. The cap is a real thing. And see, I've been noticing this pattern. Every time they ask about Amari and Tank, guess who the Joneses focus on? When they directly asked about Amari and Tank and their contracts, they focus on one guy. They focus on Amari. They focus on Amari. And I'm gonna tell you why I think they do that. And I warned about this because I was seeing this coming. I think they do that because, remember, I called him Scrooge. Remember when I called him Scrooge? See, I called him Scrooge because Kellen Moore gives them, that's why they hoping he don't take the Miami job. He gives them an opportunity to be able to try to have the same type of production without paying for a number one. See, they tried it before and it horribly failed. Horribly. They tried receiver by committee before. They tried, let's not have a number one. Let's have to where we don't discriminate. We just let one of the guys get open and then it's Dak's job to find that guy. They tried that. We started the season 3-5 with that. And Dak's stats was boo-boo. But see, now that they got CeeDee Lamb, they think they like, oh, we got a better core than that now. So let's give it another shot. Plus, we got us a better play caller now in Kellen Moore. We got us a young gun. We got us a guy that he's special. And you know, with him, that wasn't Scott Linehan. We actually got us a guy that we feel good about. So let's give it a stab. Let's go with the young guy. That's the honest God truth, what I think is happening. Because, you know, when I was doing that Fool's Gold, when I did the Fool's Gold show, right? That's when it hit me. Because, you know, I was looking in the background of Kellen Moore, and I was obviously doing a lot of investigation. I was kind of looking at old interviews. I was really digging, you know what I'm saying? I was digging for the truth. I was digging for the facts. And as I was watching and listening to John Gruden and watching John Gruden's excitement over Kellen Moore, it started to click even more. And it was the enthusiasm that John Gruden had about that Boise State system. And he was loving the fact that they was a bunch of average athletes that was winning a lot of games with an offense that was creating confusion. It wasn't an offense that was based on athlete on athlete. It was an offense that we're going to show you so many different looks. We're going to confuse you. We're going to have y'all communicating and having communications and just not on the same page. And the more we can get y'all to make a mistake, the more plays we're going to make. And it was working. So when you see capitalists get a Kellen Moore type, they go really, really try to stick to that vision. And they go give it a real shot. What vision you talking about, boss? The vision of going cheaper. That vision. That's what they want. They want to go cheaper. And they will experiment right now. They will. They will go out there and experiment. They will go out there and go with a Kellen Moore and a better group of receivers with the hope that they go have the same production because they got them a smart guy. That's how they playing it. And that's how they thinking. That's really what they thinking. Even though guys that actually won them rings is publicly warning against that strategy. Guys who won at the highest levels, been in the toughest moments, the playmaker said, when we was coming out the locker room, me and Emmett used to call each other double trouble. Look each other dead in each other's eyes and say, bro, if we don't go off, we have no shot. But the capitalists, they want to try a different strategy. They want to go cheaper. They want to go with the Kellen Moore. They rather go with the guy that had a record in college of 50-3 based on the system, and they trying to force that system, that college system, into the league. But see, college is different from the NFL. You're dealing with a lot better minds. You're dealing with people that will figure you out quickly. You got the best defensive minds in the world. And so all that Hulk package and all those smoke and mirrors and all that stuff that work on average teams, when you run up on them good D coordinators, stuff ain't gonna work. Nope. So let me show y'all this real quick, looking at Kellen, all right, and looking at Steven. So Cowboys Chief Operating Officer Stephen Jones spoke on Moore's situation on Tuesday, trying to show support and be selfish at the same time. He said, now this is, you see, y'all got to check this out. He said, I think the world of Kellen, and that's why we want him back. That is such, he basically telling everybody, I've run this. I want Kellen. That's why we want him back. Yep, my boy D-Block. D-Block. Boy, D-Block said it. My boy D-Block say, boss, we already saw that Kellen-ish doesn't work. Nah. It don't. And they showing that they getting ready to double down. So you would think that San Fran humbled us. You would think it did. It didn't. It made us more arrogant. Somebody said, should we go after Juju? I mean, likely we go do something like that. Yeah, likely we go do something like that. I mean that. Because think about it. We wanted to get rid of Dez. So the plan was to get at the injury prone Sammy Watkins and pay him $16 million. Sammy Watkins took the same $16 million to be Kansas City's third receiver than to be our number one receiver. And see, they'll do something like that. They'll go out there and get a Juju and try to sell you and me that Juju is Amari. Juju has proven that he is not a number one. Because see, when he was a number two, he was lighting it up. He was lighting it up. Just like CeeDee Lamb. Everybody, CeeDee Lamb, he gonna be okay. No, we don't know what CeeDee Lamb is going to be when he really got to face the number one corner every week like Cooper did. We don't know what CeeDee Lamb is going to be when he got to take on the doubles like Cooper did. We don't know. Is CeeDee Lamb a dog? Yes. But did you see number one last year? No, you didn't. You saw immaturity. Yeah. You saw dropping, blaming the son. You saw moping and pouting in the playoffs, jogging up to the line. Dak hikes the ball. They get an illegal formation because CeeDee Lamb not set in the playoffs. So yeah, we could go get a Juju, and we would try to sell that Juju is gonna make up for Amari. He not. So yeah, so basically, y'all heard me. I warned the whole final word. I said, bro, I see them setting it up. I think they trying to set it up to get rid of the homie. And I think they've been setting it up all year. Being all the way honest with you, that's why Cooper had to speak out. It don't make no sense. I don't care what nobody tell me. How you gonna make it make sense? How in the world are you gonna make it make sense for your number one receiver to have the exact same number of targets as Schultz, the outlet? And see, I'm gonna tell you how crazy we likely getting ready to be. We go mess around and get rid of Cooper and then mess around and pay Schultz. Y'all watch. And then they go try to manufacture his value. Oh, look at the amount of catches. Look at the amount of first downs. Man, I've already went through this draft class. I looked at all them tight ends. I looked at the free agent class. Schultz, as good as he is very replaceable. Because to be honest, most of Schultz's success is built on his system because we use the tight ends the same. Go look at the numbers. We lose Witten. Schwam has almost identical numbers. Witten come back. Because of how we use the tight end as outlets, his numbers right around the same, even though he about 80 years old. He finally goes on to the Raiders. Then we insert Blake in. His numbers right on schedule with Witten. We lose him to a knee injury. We insert Schultz. And then Schultz right on par with Witten, right on par with Schwam and Jarwin. What does that say? It says you can pretty much plug almost any tight end into this package, and they should, if they have decent hands, get you about the same results. Because you're not seeing Schultz stretch the field. He break tackles, but he ain't doing nothing just spectacular as hell. He's the outlet. And the outlet literally had the same targets as your number one. You can't tell me that Kellen Moore was that stupid. No, I ain't buying it. So you mean to tell me that Cooper got just as many targets in half a season when he first got here with literally no offseason? Now he got off seasons with Dak, and now he not getting the targets. You mean to tell me CeeDee Lamb got more targets than your number one? That's why I say they were setting them up from the beginning. I think Kellen Moore was in on it. I think Steven was in on it. I think Jerry was in on it. I think they had a premeditated plan that by 2022, we was going to want to move on from Amari, and we was going to target him less to try to justify his value and not having value with us anymore. That was the plan. And that's why, in my opinion, you seeing them ramp up the lobby to get rid of him. They already setting it up. We ain't gonna be able to keep everybody. The cap is a real thing. Just like old girl was telling me, I ain't got the money. And I said, hey, what about your emergency fund? Oh. Steven, you ain't got the money. Won't you, if you want to keep them, won't you, restructure some contracts so that we can get another run at it with all the stars? That's not an option. No, that's an option. You just don't want to do it. You want to penny pinch like you was trying to do with Dion. You singly focused on your budget again and not seeing the big picture that players win Super Bowls, not budgets. So that's why when people look at the Rams and they look at us, and you got to ask the question, which one is better? Because what I see the Rams doing, the Rams say, we put players over budgets. There's a time in which you go all in. That's what the Rams are saying. The Rams say, it ain't that many times you go get this close. So we going all in. We go get us Matthew Stafford. We go get us an old defensive end. We go give away 2 firsts to get Ramsey. We going all in. We go play. We ain't gonna have no favorites. See, the Dallas Cowboys always trying to juggle the now with the future. See, we always, I got to think about 5 years out. No, you don't. You can think about right now. You can literally say, this team is real close. Yes, it's going to probably cost us in the future, but we need to pay that cost. Cooper is 26 years old. He's not 30. He's 26. He's still young. He's not the one to try to get rid of for your budget. Do like you said, without all the fake stuff in there, and target him more. It's sometimes not all on the receiver. See, I be seeing through this stuff, man. See, you got to see, they very careful. It is sometimes not all on the receiver. It's scheme. It's getting the receiver the ball. It's the targets. But if you're going to pay somebody a lot of money, you want them to be the best at what they, no, you don't. They ain't got to be the best. Would y'all care if Cooper was getting that same money, but was slightly under Cooper Kupp? Would you care? No. Would you care if Cooper was getting that money and was on Jefferson targets and production? You wouldn't. You wouldn't. See, but he put out this fake expectation for dumb fans. And believe me, it's going to be some kiss butt fans that's going to be very happy that Cooper's gone. Because they love to kiss up to the Joneses. They never wrong. Don't matter how much they disappoint you. Don't matter how much they lie to you. Don't matter how much they blame Dak when it was them that messed up their own cap. So I'm going to open up the phone lines. Here we go. I got the phone lines open. The number is 941-942-2100. So let's get it. I got the call lines open. If y'all don't call in quick, I'm going to get out of here, man. I'm telling you. So we got here's the number again. 941-942-2100. I want to get some of y'all thoughts on this situation. So I'm going to give you 10 seconds to call. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Boss Cowboy Sports, where your voice matters. Boss Cowboy Sports.